Asia set to lead the next creative renaissance on the planet? Led by Asia's most celebrated creative minds, this season is on what is lacking and how it can be tackled. On the panel is Mr. Kagami, Global Executive Creative Director and top strategist of Dentsu, one of Asia's hottest agencies. Mr. Kagami? Thank you. Welcome. I'd also like to invite on stage Mr. Bruce Haines, Chief Strategy Officer, Cheil Worldwide, and winner of many prestigious awards. Ms. Kitty Loon, the CEO, Lowe China. She is one of the most awarded and respected advertising professionals in Greater China and is the author of Advertising with No Lipstick. Welcome, ma'am. And finally, I'd like to invite on stage Mr. Piyush Pandey, Executive Chairman and Creative Director, South Asia, Ogilvy and Martha, India. Also named the most influential man in Indian advertising. Welcome, Piyush. Moderating the discussion is Mr. Tom Doctoroff, JWT North Asia Area Director, Greater China CEO. One of Asia's most respected and well-connected marketing professionals and the author of Billions, Selling to the New Chinese Consumer and China Code. Mr. Doctoroff, may I hand over to you to take over, please?
Thank you very much for handing it over to me. That was a very graceful handover. This topic, thank you all very much for coming. You all are masters of your domain. And obviously this is a very broad topic, stimulating Asian creativity. But I want to make sure that we set expectations for this discussion for the audience. We're really not talking about what is Asian creativity, how does Asia express itself culturally, though maybe we can get into that a little bit. But really we're talking about the rise of creativity from Asia. Are we satisfied or are we not satisfied with the creative standards in each one of our companies, in each one of our markets? What are some of the factors that are propelling that rise, and what are some of the factors that are also impeding us to be as creative as we'd hope to be? And again, definitions, I think, are always very important. We can talk a little bit later whether you agree or not, Kagami-san, but I think that based on the Unilever discussion that was had this morning, maybe in the Western world or in the developed markets, creativity usually comes from a big brand idea that is expressed in breakthrough ways, now importantly as participation platforms that engage consumers. So again, we have our definitions a little bit set. We're talking about creativity in the context of brand building and business building. But to start the ball off and rolling a little bit, I asked some of you to bring a piece of creative that you thought represented the highest standards of creativity, but also creativity that worked in your market, something that you thought was effective. So could we start with Kitty, a brief introduction on what you are going to show us from Alipay in China.
Okay, thank you, Tom. The piece that I've brought over is a video for Alipay. Alipay is already the world's largest online payment platform with even more customers than PayPal. So a very successful organization, but they needed to build their brand's personality. So the campaign here actually is not about the functionality of the product, but it is about the value and attitude. Now, right now in China, progress is very fast. Money is the religion, so morality is deteriorating. So as a financial organization, Alipay decided that they wanted to talk about trust as their core value. So in this campaign, there is a real-life story of a very poor coolie who is taking care of his customers' load of goods for 5 days, just looking for the customers, because he made a promise and he wanted to deliver. And this is exactly the spirit that Alipay is going to promise their customers. The commercial is very, very non-commercial, and it attracted more than 10 million views online, and also more than 100,000 discussions online, talking about the lack of morality right now in China, and how people are looking for it.
You swear on the Bible that those statistics are true?
Yes, I swear.
Okay, you swear. All right.
Maybe we should have a look.
Please play the Alipay values-driven trust commercial. Alipay. Lower the lights, please. Apologies for the sound. Let me assure you that he was speaking beautiful Mandarin. But that was a very trust-driven commercial, very emotional, not rooted in a functionality. Can I ask you a quick question? Did that win any creative awards in international awards festivals?
Several. I mean, especially, I'm most proud of the one that it won in China Elements. It's an award in the China Advertising Festival that in the past, the China Elements campaigns are usually the dragons and phoenix type of design. But nowadays, you're really going down to the basics, to the core hearts of people. This is real China. This is shot in Sichuan. The real story actually happened in Sichuan, in a village, a poor coolie, and this is the China Elements. Of course, it has won the craft awards, which I think today is not fair to judge the commercial like that without a soundtrack, but it also won the China, several China Ad Festival awards.
Okay, so what we have here is a piece of classic advertising rooted in an insight about insecurity in Chinese society, and the fact that trust is a value which is dripping away, and Alipay is a high-tech company that still believes in trust, touching the heart of desire. Thank you very much. Bruce, oh, by the way, Piyush, you said you were boycotting Showing Creative. Is that what you said?
We'll run out of time.
We'll run out of time, I'm sure. He can end a career with a bend of his little finger, I've heard. Bruce, can you please talk about what you're going to show from Tesco? Hopefully the sound will work.
Yeah, I don't have to say too much about this because it's a very self-explanatory piece of film here. This is an idea that we're very, very proud of in not just in Cheil, I think, but in Korea, because we won 3 gold lions with this and a Grand Prix, and it's the first time that Korea has won a Grand Prix at Cannes. So we're proud of the work. And I suppose how I would introduce this is it's an idea which is rooted in a business idea, not just a communication idea. And I think some of the speakers this morning made that point about bringing communication ideas into business and understanding business first before you then can communicate.
Okay, I see the outlines of a debate emerging. This yours is a brand building commercial. Yours is a business idea. Can we please play Tesco, the digital idea? truly revolutionary breakthrough idea, a new way of engaging with the brand by consumer. Just curious, the business results for that must have been fantastic, right?
Yeah, I mean, when we entered it at Cannes, it was very much in a test, and we entered it very much as a test idea. Since then, it's now gone into real time, and I think the latest score we have over 800,000 new Tesco members of their online club. So it's a huge sort of commercial success as well as I think a great creative idea.
Okay, redefinition of creative through new ideas of business building and new forms of engagement with consumer. Kagami-san, can you please play yours? Can you explain a little bit what you're going to show?
Okay, so what I have bring here is the launching of the Kyushu bread train. Okay, so that maybe I will explain afterward. So let's show the video, please.
A train running through Kyushu for the very first time in history, we needed to create a totally new campaign. The 250-kilometer wave, Kyushu Bullet Train Launch Campaign. We decided to create a festival everyone in Kyushu could celebrate together. We put a call out to residents to wave at the bullet train during its exclusive run and filmed this event for our campaign. Residents who learned of the event from various media spread the news at schools, offices, clubs, and through SNS, encouraging more people to join in. They came only to wave at the bullet train, however brief the moment. The 250-kilometer wave was made possible by the participation of more than 30,000 residents. In this age of digital communication, it was a true festival where the connection was real and physical. The TV spots received 300,000 views in 3 days on YouTube. The event was widely covered by TV stations and newspapers all over Japan. Tickets for the first train were sold out in 15 seconds. The festival may be over, but the celebration shared by the residents of Kyushu will live on.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so the reason I bring this piece of work is not this got a lot of the award show like the Cannes Golden or the Golden Spikes. The reason I bring this is a very good example of what happened. Uncertainty, the new certainty. Okay, so the launching date of this campaign is March 12th. Maybe you know about what happened March 11th. We have the terrible earthquake and tsunami in the northern part of Japan. So our client stopped all the activities. Of course, no celebration. Okay, this is what Japanese people think about. When something happened, something terrible happened, we always feeling the sad mood and showing that we restrict any celebration or the happy things. But okay, so the people saw this TVC before that. They really love this one. And they feel this encourages us after that big tsunami. And they're showing up, bring up the website or YouTube or their blog, and calling up our clients to do this TVC again. And 1 month later, client decided, okay, let's show this on TV. Just really rare, because this is just a launching campaign. But actually, the people who saw this TVC is very much encouraging and feel, very, very energetic. Okay, let's move to the this kind of disaster, face of disaster, and getting, working on hard. Okay, so this is the good example. The certainty turned to uncertainty, and back again in a new certainty. That means, I really believe the power of the people. This is just not for the client side. Okay, this is coming out from all the power of the people. So that I'm really, happy to tell you about this, and that's the reason I bring this one.
So I hear you saying that when something is of the people, facilitated with consumer empowerment, with new technology, this is providing new areas of creative expression.
Yes.
Is there something in here, other than the obvious response to a tragedy in Japan, that remains quintessentially Japanese, or do you think that this is something that anybody around the world can recognize as a breakthrough piece of work?
Okay, so maybe I take along okay, so I think that this is kind of local feeling, but I believe that you feel the energy of the people, celebrating, making a big wave. Actually, there are 30,000 people, but out of 30,000, I think 20,000 people is coming by just their own will. But we feel that kind of energy, So that I think that one of the good things about this, campaign.
So a fusion of local heart and technological enablement. Piyush, I think that you wanted to say a few words before we move on.
It's very difficult for me to try and identify one piece of work. There's some fantastic work coming out of India, and in different kinds of activities. Mm-hmm. Whether you look at the Lead Dinner campaign, it's not selling any products, but it moved a whole lot of people into doing things which they had not thought of doing. Mm-hmm. Or whether you take the Cadbury's campaign, which takes a very Indian thing of saying new beginnings start with something sweet, which is made a huge mark out there. If you take technology and universal ideas, then you have the Vodafone Zuzus. You have the old Coke campaign, which touched the regional areas of this country and brought it together. So there are many, many examples. And I think there's some fantastic work happening. It's very difficult to identify one and say that this is what is making a change.
But from listening to the four of you talk, I think that one theme that already has emerged is the rise of new technology is liberating, to a certain extent, our creative potential. It's giving us a three-dimensional canvas for experimentation of new forms of creative expression that never existed. Kitty, your product is obviously a high-tech product. It's online PayPal, Alipay, and both of yours could not have happened without new forms of digital engagement. So with this bright new landscape, the sun rising in the east, a new world of creative opportunity to stimulate all of us, including our employees and our clients. Let me ask now, how satisfied are you with how far we have come? In fact, as my mother always used to make us do, on a scale of 1 to 10, how happy are you with the progress in your markets overall in terms of creative standards of breakthrough that fuse both long-term big ideas and technological empowerment, as well as addressing business needs, all right? So let's not get precious about what breakthrough creative is. It's all three of those things. So 1 to 10, really quickly, all right, just so we get a general pulse of our satisfaction with our industry's progress. Kagami-san, 1 to 10.
Wow.
And you have to be very direct. So this is India.
Okay, so I said 9.